They thought they were moving into a quiet home on a peaceful street, a place where they could start a new chapter as a family. But almost immediately, the atmosphere shifted. It was subtle at first, lights flickering without explanation, chilling drafts that cut through the warmth of the living room, sudden cold spots that made the hair stand up on the back of their necks. Then, the disturbances became impossible to ignore. Scratches appeared on their bodies overnight, red and raw as if marked by invisible claws. The sense of being watched grew unbearable. Unbeknownst to them, the house they now called home carried a legacy of pain, fear, and tragedy, a place where the past refused to die. This is the true story of the Sally House, a place where the walls seem to remember every scream, every desperate cry for help. Nestled in the historic town of Atchison, Kansas, the Sally House is an unassuming two-story residence. From the outside, it looks no different from any other house in the neighborhood. But those who have stepped inside know its secrets run deep. The house first gained notoriety in the early 90s, when the Pickman family moved in. But its dark history goes back much further. According to local legend and old yellowed newspaper clippings, the house was once the home and office of a physician during the late 1800s. It was a time when medicine was as much guesswork as science, and not every doctor followed the Hippocratic Oath. The story begins with a little girl named Sally, who was brought to the doctor's office, a room in the house, for severe abdominal pain. The doctor, pressed for time and eager to perform surgery, began cutting before the anesthesia had fully taken effect. Sally's screams echoed through the halls, her terror and agony forever imprinted on the house. She died on the operating table, her spirit never finding peace. Over the years, locals whispered of her ghostly presence, but it wasn't until the Pickmans moved in that the stories took on terrifying new life. In 1993, Tony and Deborah Pickman were a young couple, excited to bring their newborn son into their very first home together. The excitement quickly turned to dread. It started with their baby waking at odd hours, his cries piercing the night and his tiny eyes fixed on empty corners as if watching something, or someone, move in the shadows. Tony began to notice deep scratches on his chest and back, wounds that had no logical cause. The family dog, usually calm, would bark and snarl at unseen threats, its hackles raised, eyes wide with fear. Lights would flicker and then die. Electronic devices malfunctioned, and objects seemed to move on their own. Unseen hands would tug at clothing or brush against skin in empty rooms. The atmosphere grew oppressive, thick with the feeling of being watched. Deborah found herself gripped by sudden, unexplained fear, unable to sleep at night. The temperature would drop suddenly, leaving the family huddled under blankets in the middle of summer. The sense of dread grew with each passing day, until one night, everything changed. Tony was the first to see her. Late one evening, while walking down the hallway, he glanced up and froze. At the far end stood a little girl, no older than 6 or 7. She wore a simple, old-fashioned dress, her dark hair framing a pale, expressionless face. Her eyes were impossibly dark, bottomless pits that seemed to drink in the light. She stared at him, silent and unmoving. Tony felt paralyzed, unable to speak or look away. When he finally took a step forward, she vanished, as if swallowed by the shadows. The encounter left him shaken to his core. The appearances didn't stop. The couple began to see fleeting glimpses of the girl, always just out of reach, always watching. The physical attacks intensified. Tony would wake with new scratches, sometimes 3 parallel lines, as if made by small, sharp fingers. The baby's crib was sometimes found moved or disturbed, the child found crying in terror. Visitors reported sudden chills, headaches, and a sense of overwhelming sadness. The Pickmans documented everything, desperate for answers. Word spread quickly, and soon, paranormal investigators descended on the house. Some hoped to debunk the claims. Others came seeking proof of the supernatural. What they found only deepened the mystery. During one investigation, a team captured clear audio of a child's voice whispering, "Get out!" sending chills through everyone present. Equipment malfunctioned, batteries drained in minutes, and strange shadows appeared on video footage. The investigators reported being scratched, pushed, and overcome with nausea. Some refused to return, convinced that the house was not only haunted, but actively hostile. Dr. Karen Willis, a well-known paranormal researcher, studied the case extensively. She noted that the activity in the Sally house exhibited all the classic signs of a residual haunting: repeated energy patterns, apparitions, and cold spots. But she also found evidence suggesting something far darker at play. Objects would be thrown across rooms. The scratches inflicted on Tony were unusually deep, often drawing blood. The emotional toll on the family was severe, with bouts of anger, depression, and paranoia that seemed to come from nowhere. Mike Reynolds, a seasoned paranormal investigator, summed up the experience. "Whatever is in that house, it doesn't want company, and it can hurt you." He believed that the entity, whatever its true nature, fed on fear and conflict, growing stronger with each new victim. Some investigators speculated that while the spirit of Sally may have been real, something even more sinister had taken up residence in the house, using her image as a mask to draw in the living. Ultimately, the Pickman family could take no more. The constant fear, physical harm, and emotional torment drove them to flee the home, leaving behind their dreams of a peaceful life. Even after they left, the activity did not stop. New owners and visiting paranormal teams continue to report chilling encounters, phantom footsteps, disembodied voices, and the ever-present feeling of being watched. Some have suffered scratches, burns, and sudden illnesses while inside. Others leave with a sense of unease that lingers for days. To this day, the true nature of the Sally house remains a mystery. Is it the restless spirit of a young girl seeking justice for the pain she endured? Or is it something far more sinister, something ancient and malevolent, wearing the innocent face of a child to lure its victims? The house stands as a grim reminder that some doors, once opened, can never be closed. The story of the Sally house is not just a tale of ghosts and hauntings, but a chilling warning. Sometimes the past refuses to stay buried. Sometimes the echoes of pain and suffering are too powerful to fade away. And sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we cannot see. The choice is yours. Do you believe the house is haunted by a little girl desperate for peace? Or is it the playground of something truly evil? The whispers in the darkness are waiting for your answer.